today we're talking a little what's for dinner inspiration. What is up, you guys? My name is Kira if you are new, and in today's video I have a bunch of what's for dinner clips to share with you guys. Do you guys love food photography? I know for me, it wasn't a huge thing right away when I first started doing YouTube, or even when I just started to have a passion for food. I was never really into food photography, but after we put together our first cookbook, my interest started to get piqued. And then after the latest cookbook that I just put out with Vanessa, I had so much fun taking pictures of food. I love the way that a picture can create 1,000 words. I can see a picture of something to eat and my mouth starts to salivate, and I think about eating it and wanting it and how to recreate it and what I can do to put my own spin on it. So that's pretty much how I construct my what's for dinners. So each night after I put my plate together, I snap a picture of it, and then I compile all of those pictures to share with you guys on what we had for dinner. So one way or another, whether it's a Pinterest link or a full-fledged cooking video, I always have a way for you guys to recreate what I have made to share with you. So I'm going to take you down into my counter, and I'm going to share with you all the delicious meals that I create for my family of 6. So the first dinner that we're starting off with was the first meal I managed to scrape together after putting Dorothy down, and it was a super easy one. I still had some of these boneless pork chops that I got from Costco defrosted in the refrigerator. So I froze the rest and I saved some out for dinner that night, and I fried them up in just a little bit of olive oil on the stove. But what I coated the pork chop in was just a little bit of ranch seasoning and flour. So I put a little bit of flour in a plate and I mixed in some of the ranch seasoning mix, and then I took the pork chops straight from the package and then dredged them in that flour ranch mix and fried them on the stove in that little bit of olive oil, and they were still super crispy on the outside but very tender and juicy on the inside. I love the pork chops from Costco, and just that ranch with the flour was just a perfect crust. I had a little bit of applesauce on the side. We had a side salad, and then I also had some of that Parmesan orzo. So I have a cooking video for it. It's super, super old, but if you can manage to get through the video, the recipe itself is phenomenal. And it is just a great way to add a different kind of side dish to your normal routine, because it's kind of a mix of like macaroni and cheese, but rice-a-roni with this really creamy, garlicky Alfredo sauce on it. I highly recommend it, and I'll link that video for you guys to go ahead and check out. But otherwise, you guys, this was a really yummy but super simple dinner. So next up is the recipe that I think I really wanted to share with you guys the most. And this was kind of a test run for me, so I will make this again and film it. But I made a stuffed shells. I had a box of the pasta in my pantry that was meant for another recipe that I never used, and I wanted to use it up. So the 2 stuffed shells that you see on the right side are traditional stuffed shells. So inside is a little bit of ricotta cheese, some mozzarella, and 1 egg with a little bit of salt and pepper and parsley, and you just mix it until it's creamy. You stick it inside the half-cooked pasta, and then you put it inside of a pan. And I just topped it with my regular homemade pasta sauce and a little bit of shredded mozzarella and baked that portion into the oven. But now the ones on the left are the ones that I wanted to just try for something different, because I know that Jake and Daryl don't really like that ricotta cheese. So I made a buffalo chicken stuffed shell. So I love my buffalo chicken dip. It's in the first cookbook that I wrote with Nicole and Vanessa, and both cookbooks I've written are always linked in the description box if you guys want to check them out. But I put my buffalo chicken dip in the first one, and I love it, and everybody loves it, but we only have it during football time. So I just made the dip as I always would, and then I stuffed it inside of that half-cooked pasta shell, and then I put it in the pan on the other side of the ones I had already made, and then I made an Alfredo sauce. I have a video for my Alfredo sauce as well that I can link for you guys, so you can check that out. But I just made my regular old Alfredo sauce, and I put that on the top of the buffalo chicken with a little bit of the shredded mozzarella as well. And let me tell you guys, they both were so good. I don't mind a regular stuffed shell because I do like that ragout cheese on the inside, but Jacob and Daryl, like I said, do not. And they ate this buffalo chicken and they couldn't stop talking about it. They talked about it forever. Jake said it was one of the best things he ever had. Daryl came in and talked about it. Daryl and Jake were fighting over the last few of them. That's why I said I will make it again. I'll have to make trays and freeze them because that is something that both of my big boys will eat over and over again. So stay tuned for that video because I will definitely recreate it, maybe while I'm at my mom's, because I think my family will like that too. So definitely stay tuned. But wow, you guys, this was a killer meal. All right, so for this meal, I'm not gonna lie, this is the day after. This is not dinner, this is lunch, but I didn't eat my dinner from the day before, and I think I did that subconsciously because I love myself some steak and eggs. So one night, I had like barbecue written on the menu, and we were gonna grill out some steaks. I made that potato salad, which I do believe that potato salad is in my first cookbook also. I'm not sure, but I know I've shared that recipe before, but it's a cheddar bacon ranch potato salad that my family goes absolutely nuts for. So I made that with some corn on the cob and we grilled out the steaks. But like I said, I fell asleep that night putting the kids to bed. I never ate my steak. And then the next day I was like, all right, now it's time to eat my favorite thing. So I reheated up my steak and then I put a little bit of butter on the top. That really re-moistens steak when you're reheating it. If you put like a pat of butter on top, it'll seep in and it'll help recreate that moisture. And then I just made 2 over easy eggs and I put a little bit of that potato salad that I already made on the side. And this, you guys, is probably my idealistic, like, best meal. All you would need is an egg everything bagel from New York on the side. And that would be my dream meal. But for my Tex-Mex loving family members, this is their dream meal. So every Tuesday, I try and incorporate some kind of Taco Tuesday, whether it's straight old regular tacos or enchiladas or nachos, quesadillas. It's always something along that Tex-Mex line because that's what my family loves. And so this night we just did tacos, but I decided to switch it up and I got those tostada bowls from Walmart. There's like 4 in the package for $3 and they toast up phenomenal. They just are so crispy and they get that oily texture to them like fresh nachos out of the grease. And then I just layered everything I could think of in there, like beans and meat and cheese and sour cream and tomatoes and green onions. And that was a little bit of chipotle sauce because I also had that taco salad kit that I got from Trader Joe's that I hadn't used up yet. So that was some components from that, but put all together, you guys, and that was yum, yum, yum. Now, I know this picture looks a little bit funny because it's sideways, but I couldn't put it the right way to share it with you guys because this stinking pizza was so large that when the picture goes the other way, the only way for me to zoom it in is it's pretty much you just looking at cheese and pepperoni. But when our friends and family came in from New Mexico, we decided to just keep it easy because we just wanted to visit and we decided to do pizza and salad that night. And so I ordered from a place called Ali's Pizzeria, which used to be where we used to rent our house. This pizzeria was close to there. We discovered it and they are Italians from New York. So they make pizza very similar to what I'm used to. So I ordered this crazy extra large pepperoni cheese pizza, which I think had 12 slices in it. That was nuts. And then I ordered a medium cheese pizza just for those who didn't want any kind of meat like my little kids. And then I also ordered a side of calamari, which had already half been eaten by the time I took this picture because it was so fresh and hot that as soon as we opened the lid, everybody started picking at it. And then this was actually supposed to be a cheeseburger pizza. I had ordered a cheeseburger pizza for myself. I'm not a huge pizza lover. I only really like specialty items unless I make it myself, but they saw the CB for cheeseburger and made cheesy bread instead. So we did end up getting a free medium cheeseburger pizza like a week later because they messed up our order, but I still indulged in some yummy cheesy bread with a little bit of that marinara sauce on the side. But for a pizzeria, I have to say I truly love this place because I am a little bit picky being from New York, and this place is fantastic. Another night where we're all about keeping it simple, but sometimes I just like to do sandwiches. Like, I am a sandwich person. I love egg everything bagels, like I said, from New York, and I worked at a bagel store for a long time where I would pretty much eat something on an egg everything bagel every day, whether it was some kind of sandwich meat or a cold salad like chicken salad, egg salad. It doesn't matter. I love sandwiches, so sometimes I just love to do sandwich night. So I had a coleslaw kit from Trader Joe's. I made that along with those really rigid ripple chips from Trader Joe's that are perfect alongside of a sandwich, and then I had some club rolls from the Dollar Tree. So we just made club sandwiches. I had bacon. I made some chicken patties that we get from Walmart. We added a little bit of cheese and lettuce, tomato, and mayo. So nice chicken clubs on some hero bread with coleslaw and potato chips. Perfect, simple meal for mom. Now here's a meal that doesn't look simple, but it is not complicated, but full of flavor. So this is chicken marsala. It's probably one of my favorite things to prepare because I love mushrooms. It is a really easy recipe to make. I have a whole cooking video for this recipe that I can go ahead and link for you. And then I also included this recipe in my first cookbook, That I Know for Sure. And it is really not complicated. You just put all those ingredients together and make a sauce that you're going to ladle over chicken that you're going to fry up, very similar to that pork chop that we talked about in the beginning. It is just a thin chicken cutlet that is dredged in some flour and then fried in some oil, and it just gets a nice crisp on the outside, but it's still juicy on the inside. And then we have that really yummy like mushroom gravy that you're going to pour over that chicken, and then you can really do it over anything, but I really love to do it over spaghetti. I'll just make spaghetti noodles and I'll throw a little butter on top just to give the pasta some flavor, and then we'll throw pieces of chicken and that marsala sauce right over the top. And that, you guys, is like the perfect yummy Italian meal, and pretty much everybody in the house loves it. Who am I kidding though? Everybody in my family loves pasta. Any kind of pasta that I can put together, usually there's no arguments from the peanut gallery. And I made this as a food hack once before. I have the whole demonstration in a food hack video, so I'll link it up above for you guys to see. But this is just another way to use ravioli, and these are the beef bolognese raviolis that I got from Trader Joe's, and I just layered them in a pan with meat sauce and mozzarella cheese, very similar to making a lasagna. Putting sauce on the bottom of the pan, putting a layer of these cooked raviolis on top of the sauce, adding some mozzarella, some more sauce, another layer, and so on until you get as many as you want. I did 3 layers of this ravioli, and then I baked it in the oven, and we just had that alongside of a salad. That's that lemon poppy seed dressing from Target that is just to die for. And then in the back there is a piece of the sourdough bread that I get from Costco that you just throw in the oven for a little while, and it toasts up so good. I have a little bit of butter on that, but yes, this is a typical Friday night in our house. Now for this night is a night that I talk about continuously because I probably do this at least once a month, and this is our homemade Chinese takeout night. I make a killer batch of pork fried rice that my whole family loves. And then we really love the mandarin orange chicken from Trader Joe's. I actually made homemade takeout last night. I didn't get a picture of it because I knew I already had one in this time's What's for Dinner, but I made my own of that mandarin orange chicken. They always give 2 packets of sauce, and we never need that much sauce, so I always hold some of that aside. And I also bought the sesame chicken sauce in the grocery haul, so So I just took some chicken thighs that I had in the freezer and I diced them up. I dredged them in flour, just like we talked about for the pork chop or the chicken marsala. And I just fry it up until it's crispy. And then you add whatever sauce you want to add on top. So you can use that leftover mandarin orange chicken sauce. You could have used the sesame chicken sauce. I mean, the options really are endless. And then for some reason, my vegetable always goes to broccoli when I make homemade takeout. I guess because of like beef and broccoli, chicken and broccoli. I just feel like that's something common. So I made some broccoli, and then we get those Vans egg rolls from Walmart that toast up amazing in the air fryer. They come out like greasy and crispy as if we just got them from the Chinese food place. Like these kinds of nights at home, I just love because I feel like I get all the feels of the Chinese takeout, but I don't spend nearly as much as it would cost to feed my whole family if we got takeout. And it's all super easy things to prepare. So this night is always a win-win for us. Now back to another Tex-Mex night, but this was not Tuesday. This was actually Father's Day. I asked Daryl what he wanted for Father's Day, and he said he wanted chicken roll-ups. I was actually supposed to make these the day that we had to take Dorothy to the vet, so he was kind of disappointed because he loves this meal. I know that the chicken roll-ups are in my first cookbook as well. I have a cooking video for it, so I can link it for you, but it's pretty much just a stuffed burrito with grilled chicken and cream cheese and shredded cheese and taco seasoning, all just kind of mixed together, put in a tortilla and then grilled to give it that really warm and gooey feeling on the inside, but then crispy on the outside. And then these are those little chipotle tacos that we got from Costco. They were delicious, and for the price, they actually ended up beating Trader Joe's. So that was great. I did a little bit of diced tomato with green onion and sour cream on my plate for mixing. And then on the side, I have a little bit of chips and some homemade queso. I made queso for Maya's birthday and we never ate it. I just put it in the pan and left it in the refrigerator. And so we just pulled it out and I kind of added some more heavy cream, milkish, and made it all yummy and brought it back to life. And we just used that as a side for the chips. But this was a great night. That queso was bomb and those little tacos. And I love myself one of those chicken roll-ups. So this was a great night. And we're finishing off with what we just had on Monday. So when I went to Sam's Club, I had bought a huge roast that I cut in half. And this week we're doing roast beef. And then next week, at the end of the week, I'm going to put the other half in the crock pot and make a pot roast. Even when it's hot, I still crave those kinds of meals. So I just put the roast beef in the oven with a little bit of the 21 seasoning salute from Trader Joe's and cooked it till it was that nice medium. The ends were a little bit more like mid-well for those who don't like pink, but the center was still good and pink the way I like it. I diced up some potatoes that I leave the skin on, and I put it in oil around the roast beef with all sorts of like garlic, paprika, salt, pepper, a little bit of the dried up onions, and then we cook that all up and the potatoes come out crispy and the roast beef came out tender. And then I diced up a little bit of carrots and I make a really delicious glaze with a little bit of brown sugar and butter and honey. And so we had that on the side. I have a little bit of sour cream and green onion because I like to dip my roast beef and my potatoes in that. But this was a really nice, hearty kind of home cooked Sunday meal, which is what I was hoping to have for Sunday, but Sunday was Father's Day, and so we did that Tex-Mex instead. But no complaints from anybody. We used the leftover potatoes on Tuesday in the morning with some eggs, and then we've been using the leftover roast beef for sandwiches for lunch. So this ended up being a meal that just kept on giving. All right, you guys, so that's it for another video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. I know I'm gonna go ahead and finish dinner for my family right now. I have the crock pot going right here, and I'm making some like pineapple teriyaki meatballs, and we're doing a whole appetizer night. So I'm really excited. These are some of my favorite nights just to kind of pick on food and hang with my family, watch a movie, and all the good stuff. So I thank you again so much for watching. Subscribe if you are new. I love you guys all so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.